Well, maybe if the overlay will work, we will be going live. We will be going live. And we're going to go live now because Marcus has just joined in. I'm your host, Andrew Dukowitz. This is the Missing Lynx post-game live stream podcast, whatever we're calling it now. And we are doing a little bit of a Lynx fan appreciation night in theme with the Lynx. They gave out pink wigs, which I do have my pink wig present. In case I got peer pressured, but thankfully there was no peer pressure. I'm your host, Andrew Dukowitz, beat reporter for Zone Coverage. I cover the Lynx, Wolves, and Gophers women's basketball team for Zone Coverage. And today I'm joined by three Lynx fans from the community here. Nicole, Alison, and Marcus Johnson are joining me from Discord X, formerly Twitter, to talk some Lynx. How are you all doing? Nicole, how are you?
Great. Excited. Man, what a game. So exciting.
Alison, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I am glad we played well tonight. Not skidding into the playoffs. I was a little worried there after the last few games, but
it was a good night for confidence. That's all I can say. Marcus, how are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good. Always good. Finish the season off with a W. Always fun.
Exactly. And I mean, that was kind of my vibe I got from the jump. This was a game that the Lynx wanted to win pretty desperately. I mean, they played all their starters. DNA was the only scratch, and they really kind of went for it. Now we know who we're going to play in the playoffs. It will be Golden State. They aren't leaving town. They're just going to be back, kind of staying here until the game on Sunday. Nicole, I'll start with you. What are your kind of thoughts on a Golden State matchup?
Definitely better than Seattle, which is why I'm super glad we played the way we did. We handled business, and we got the win so that we can ensure that we had Golden State for the 8 seed so that we would play them first round. I mean, Golden State, like tonight, it just seemed like they were just living and dying by the three, right? Like but their shots, like they were getting good looks, but their shots just were not falling, which, great for us. But Golden State is still, not a team to sleep on. I mean, they're great. So something to look at, but yeah, overall, definitely prefer them in the first round matchup than Seattle.
Alison, what are your thoughts on it?
Same. I'm glad we're not playing Seattle. I think Seattle was kind of like our kryptonite this year for some reason. But, I hope that we come out really strong in that first game, because with that new playoff format where it's home, away, home, and how difficult it is to win in Valhalla, I hope we get that first win at home. So I think that'll be really important for, going over to Golden State and being able to be successful there if we have to bring it back home for that third game.
Oh, exactly. And that's kind of my general feel on it too, is, Seattle, I think if they would have played, I wouldn't have been concerned about them like winning the series, but it just adds anxiety that we don't need. Marcus, what are your thoughts kind of on that Golden State matchup?
I think, and I mean this, it's going to sound disrespectful to Golden State, but I mean, they're built kind of like the same way as the Lynx are. And I think being them an expansion team, they have less top line talent. And I think that is like a good thing for us. Obviously, I mean, we have the MVP on our team, but I think that it'll be a fun matchup. It's going to be physical. I think I tweeted out earlier today, it could be like, we might see like a 53-44 game at some point too, because this is going to be just two teams trying to beat each other up. But I think it'll be fun. And I mean, they're a great story. So I think it'll be good, fun. And I don't want to play Seattle, partly because, I still haven't forgiven Nneka Ogwumike. So I think that's part of it.
Nicole, I'll throw it over to you. I mean, the last time we saw Seattle, they were dancing off of our court. So I think there would have been a little bit of like a revenge factor in there, but I'm trying to think. I think Fee referred to Golden State after the game of just a team of 6 men. I mean, there are a bunch of players that are just really hungry, really driven to get wins. They all kind of play like Chechi, who we got to see up close and personal last year. Just what are your fears about the Golden State Valkyries if you have any.
I mean, yeah, I think Fee said it right. I was just talking to somebody the other day about like with the expansion draft and how that happens, and it's just teams were willing to give these players up, and for them to come together, a lot of them international players. So I know in the middle of the season they had that Eurobasket, like a lot of their players were gone. They've had so many hardships, and for them to endure all that and still make the playoffs as the first expansion team, I mean, there's just so much to say about this organization and squad in general. And then their best player, who was an all-star, Kayla Thornton, injured for the year and all this stuff, and still, like I said, the resiliency to make it to the playoffs. Again, they're not to be slept on, for sure. But I think overall, like, I like how we match up. Chechi, I mean, it hurt me when we lost Chechi.
Me too.
Yeah, and just out there today, like Jasmine Salon, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she's solid. I mean, Kyla Charles, like they've got some folks out there. Like I said, if the shots were falling tonight, it could have been a different game. It definitely would have been a little bit closer. So we'll see how they look on Sunday. Maybe the shots will start falling then. I think because this past Sunday game that we had against them, they were knocking down those threes and they kept it really close. So, and I think that was the formula they were trying to do tonight. Fortunately, again, like I said, the shots did not fall too much to our, what we needed tonight. But I mean, yeah, overall, like, yeah, they're not to be slept on, but I feel confident. I feel confident in us. But I mean, tonight we definitely got our work in. And I think they're going to make us work for it for sure. But I definitely see 2 wins in a row. Let's go knock this out and then have some rest getting ready for, our semifinals matchup. That's what I predict.
And Allison, there's a couple messages in the chat here. Adriana says, no fear, we need to do better at rebounding, though. Amanda also says rebounding was rough tonight. If you're just looking at the box score, it doesn't look that bad. Offensive rebounds, it felt like the Valkyries were getting like 1 billion of them, but they only finished with 15. Not great. We had 14 as the Lynx. You look at total rebounds, it was 38-39. Lynx had the advantage, but it didn't feel that way for a large portion of this game. I mean, how worried are you about that rebounding side of it?
I think the rebounding has been, hot and cold all season. Unfortunately, and I think that was kind of what did us in during the finals last year. But I do think having Jess and her rebounding ability, she had another double again tonight. I think that helps. So when she's on the floor, she's going to go after it. But, that rebounding is just, in Golden State, is so scrappy. And they just, they do not give up and they're going after everything. So it's really something that I think we'll have to be intentional about, is going and getting the rebound and then, finishing out the defensive possession. But yeah, I think they're tough and scrappy and they're so well coached. I mean, they're like singing off the same sheet of music. They're all on the same page. So it's another thing that makes them really tough. So hopefully we can come out and be really scrappy on the boards and match that.
Well, and one player that didn't get to play tonight, which Curry. We're going Curry. Curry mentions Nay is also a strong rebounder, which everything I've kind of been gathering is that she should be good to go for Sunday. I mean, Marcus, how big of an impact can Dejanay be on this series?
I think she can be a really big impact. I mean, the Valkyries like to play fast too. Dejanay's very strong in the full court game. Veronica Burton, who's probably going to win MIP, is one of the surprise best point guards in the W this year. Dejanay's a great defender, especially of the guard spot. And I think, we need toughness, we need rebounding, and we need, like I said, if those 44 to 53 games, you need somebody that's going to hit somebody. And Dejanay, that's kind of, she excels at that. So I think she's a huge X factor for us. And I think the Lynx are kind of like, they're a really great team, but they're also, you can tell when one person is missing because a slight hitch happens every time. And when you see that person come back in, you're like, there's the full oiled machine running and going. So I think that's really what she'll help with as well.
I completely agree. I think Dejanay coming back, especially on Burton, who struggled tonight. I mean, 2 for 11 overall. I think it'll help quite a bit. I am going to throw us quickly over to an ad read here. When we come back, with it being Pink Wig Day, Fan Appreciation Day, I just want to hear your guys' like favorite memories from the season. So when we come back from the ad read, that's what we'll be going over. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Lynx podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. All right, so we're going to mix up the order a little bit here, and I am going to throw it over to you, Allison. I am just going to preface it by saying tonight is probably up there on like nights that I've been at a Lynx game, like the pink wigs, the just sheer amount of buy-in to like have 8,800 people wearing pink wigs all at the same time. There's just something like hope in humanity restoring about it, of just seeing that. But Allison, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just what was your favorite moments of this Lynx season? Oh, I muted you. Sorry, Allison. There you are.
That's okay. So I loved Jess getting her triple double. That was amazing, and how fast she did it. There's so many other like basketball highlights of the season. Obviously, Fee getting her 50, 40, 90 tonight was incredible. But I think my favorite moment of the season was, during All-Star break, having the 72-hour stud buds and just seeing how the two of them just endeared themselves to such a larger community beyond just like the Lynx fans, and seeing the excitement for them and, what they're doing and their personalities. And obviously, like you mentioned, you had all those people wearing those wigs tonight. So I think that was my favorite part of the season, is just seeing the two of them have their personality shine through, and just giving a bigger glimpse into, their personalities, and our whole entire team was just something that was really cool. And I think was really special. And I don't know if that can ever be repeated. So definitely a neat thing of this season.
It's been so cool to see from like the media side of it too, because Courtney, this is Courtney, like who she is on Stud Buds, who she is on the Lime scooters. This is her. Every interaction I've ever had with her is that. Natisha T is the same way, like even just running into them in the hallways, like they are always on that level and like that. So to see them just be authentically themselves and get this like massive amount of support behind it. I mean, you're right. It's been just truly special. Marcus, I'm going to throw it over to you. What about you?
That's a great question. I mean, there's been a lot of great moments. I really think my absolute favorite one is the first New York game we played without Fee. And I think that was because tenuous time, we didn't really know what was going on. We didn't really know, New York coming off a championship, and they had signed Emma Mieseman, and everybody's saying, they're going to run through it. And the Lynx had a big lead, and it looked like we could have been dead in the water. And that third quarter where they just kind of punched them in the mouth and kind of shocked everybody. I mean, Nay's hitting threes. Courtney and the T are doing full court layups. We're getting steals on 45% of the possessions. I thought that was just really, heartening. And for me, at least, I got to like take a deep breath back and be like, it sucks. Obviously, it sucked that Fee was hurt. I don't want to make it seem like I was happy about that. But we took a deep breath and like, we can survive this. Like, the Lynx are a great team, but we can survive this moment without Fee for a little bit. Now, trust me, I almost shed tears of joy when she came back, because that was great.
I mean, she comes back and it's like she's never left. And tonight was another one of those examples where she is just unbelievably efficient. 8 of 10, 3 for 4 from 3-point range. Didn't shoot a free throw, which we can get into that. That's for another pod. We can discuss reffing in the WNBA, but it just fees, to watch them beat that team not just once, but twice in a row, 3 times in a row before finally dropping one. It was really special. Nicole, how about you?
Yeah, speaking to, first off, Jessica Shepard was the only one that shot free throws tonight, I believe, which is crazy. But
two at the very end, but Jess had the only ones for a long time.
Thank you. Good point. But as far as my favorite, kind of moments and games of the season, going back to the Aces series, I was actually at the August 2nd game in Vegas. Because again, I live in Los Angeles, so it wasn't but a hop, skip, and a jump for me to get over there. And I was actually sitting courtside when K-Mac dropped the 8 threes in the first half. And just watching that live, oh my God, was just like, yes. So that probably, again, to watch it live and witness it live was so fun. So that Aces game, the 53-pointer, which, I mean, I guess if you want to say started their run and 15, their streak, whatever, but still to be there for 53-point win was amazing. I was also going to say the All-Star 72-hour stream. Yeah. I mean, seeing the behind the scenes, going to the parties. I mean, we felt it was so crazy because a lot of us, we were like staying up all night with them. Like, I'm going to thug it out. Like, I'm normally asleep by this time, but I want to party with y'all. Like, it was just so fun. So that was great. And then also, I think back to one of the first games we played against the Phoenix Mercury, the one where T hit that game winner. Where K-Mac had the steal and got it to. We had a playback stream. We were watching it live on our stream and stuff, and the reactions. I mean, the range of emotions that we had in that last minute, because we were like, oh man, are we dead in the water? Oh, we're coming back. Oh, we had to go ahead. So I mean, it was just, that was a great moment. And then also an honorable mention, even though she's no longer on our team.
Yeah,
Diamond Miller.
Yeah,
the game against the Sparks, where she had the ball and she was just swinging her elbows. I'll never forget that as well. Like, that is always still just a favorite moment for me. So, those are probably some of my top memorable moments from the season.
There's been so many moments with this team too, where I feel like it's really like special to cover the team is one thing, but to like be a fan of these players and like people on the team too, of like Lana Smith going into like how she's in college and like studying after work every night, basically. And, Diamond has kind of her, emotions overflow at the press conference after kind of her first big game back. It's been really just kind of special to see how like vulnerable these people are willing to be with the fan base. Cause if you don't trust the fans that they're going to support you when you're vulnerable, you don't be vulnerable in front of the fans. So I do think it kind of goes both ways of they know how special the bond is between Lynx fans and them. So they're willing to open up more. I do think having Cheryl Reeve dancing on a 72-hour live stream and claiming it's AI and saying that she's crashing out and all of that stuff obviously helps them want to be more vulnerable, but it's been really special. KJ has a question in the chat here. Just so ready for playoffs. Do we know what time Lynx play on Sunday? We don't. It'll either be noon, 2, or 4. But we have to wait for the Aces game to finish before they will send out official times. So I, like everybody else, don't get to plan my Sunday until the Aces finish playing basketball. But that's my problem. Hopefully not anyone else's. I'm going to throw us over to one more ad read here. When we come back, we'll just kind of talk about our confidence that this is going to be the year that the Lynx raise another banner. And we're back with another ad read. This time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. All right. So Marcus, I'm going to start with you this time. what is your confidence level that this Lynx team is going to get it done? I mean, their path is pretty much solidified now, where it'll be Valkyries, probably New York, and then either Atlanta or Vegas. Where's your confidence level? What's your percentage at?
Ooh, it's a tough one. I'm pretty confident. I will say, I think we have a very unique path. I feel like it's not a traditional number 1 seed path, but I'm still very confident in our team. I want to go, I don't know how to do it in a percentage, but I think if you give me the field or the Lynx, I'm taking the Lynx over the field, I think is the way to put it. So what's that? It's above 50, or I don't know what the odds are. I don't do math. I work with
That's
words.
Fair.
But I would say I'm taking the Lynx over the field. I think the last few weeks where they kind of trolled a little bit and they took their foot off the gas, and I think it got all of us, including me, a little stressed out because, like, dang, what happened to the Edge? What happened to, what happened to the team I saw the first 3 months of the season? I think we saw a smidge of it today. There's only so much you can ramp up for what is still a regular season game. And I think we saw how suffocating the defense can be. And I think that is what, Cheryl wants them to hang their hat on. And we've seen it all year. We're going to have either the back-to-back depoy or 2 different depoys in the starting lineup at one time. And I think, the defense is swarming enough and they're deeper. And I think that's what's going to be. They're a lot deeper than they were last year, where it was kind of roll the dice who can play off the bench. You've termed it the 8 starters, which for Timberwolves is a bad thing, but with the Lynx, it's a good thing. So I think that's I'm feeling Lynx over the field is my prediction.
I think, it's been hard to kind of explain because Cheryl obviously is, I believe Lucas was on my podcast, Lucas Kaplan of Nets Daily, and called Cheryl a competitive psychopath. And like, that kind of is Cheryl. Like, she wants to go 44-0. And I think it's a lot more human nature what the players were doing, of maybe I'm not going to dive for that loose ball knowing that we have a playoff seed locked up. Maybe I'm not going to run quite as hard. There was a lot of like call outs of effort by Cheryl. Shepard called it out after the Indiana game. But then again, we saw it tonight where they allow 8 points in the first quarter and they are just absolutely, the Valkyries couldn't really get anything going. And that's probably what it's going to look like all playoffs, is this team's, when they're locked in, it's a different level. Nicole, I'm going to throw it over to you. What's your confidence level looking like?
I've said this for a while now, I guess since the second half of the season. I say until proven otherwise, the Lynx will be the 2025 WNBA champions. I don't see any team beating us 4 games in the finals. I don't. Aces, we went 3-1 against them this regular season. Liberty, we went 3-1 against them regular season. We swept Golden State, who were seen in the first round. Atlanta gave us a little trouble, so if they may be the team that we see in the finals, we'll deal with it then. I think the Aces will take care of them, and it may be the Aces we see in the finals, but my confidence is sky high. I feel the only thing that could possibly hold us back, knock on wood, would be health. That's it.
And we are all knocking on wood, because that is kind of the bar none. That's going to be the thing, right? If somebody gets hurt, but hopefully at this point they haven't had great injury luck, if we're being honest, throughout the season. So hopefully they got all of that out of the way. They're all doing their aerobics and yoga and staying limber so they don't sprain ankles. But yeah, I agree with you. This is a team that, 10 years from now, when people like me are writing articles and they're going back through Best Basketball Reference to try and see where the current team matches up on, the Lynx are going to go down as a historically good team this year. Best offense, best defense. Analytically, they are far superior to pretty much anyone. And they have Fee not only is the second player to average a 50, 40, 90 season in the WNBA, she's the 11th player in basketball, NCAA, NBA, or WNBA, to shoot 50, 40, 90. The company she's in is like your Mount Rushmores of basketball, and they have that firing on all Islanders going into the playoffs. Allison, I'll close with you here, though. What are your expectations for the Lynx in the playoffs?
All right. Percentage-wise, 100%. We're all in. I mean, let's talk about like what we got going on. So we've got the best coach probably the WNBA has ever seen. We've got, like you said, 50, 40, 90 players. She's healthy. The offense is just completely different when she's on the floor. Everything flows better. So she's back. She's healthy. We have, like you said, best offense in the league, best defense in the league. And, like we've mentioned, I've heard a couple times in this conversation, like our bench is so much better this year and more consistent. T's had 20 plus points in the last, 5 games now?
I think
4
5
or 5
out of 6 or 4 out of 5.
Yeah, something like that. But she's playing amazing. She's being aggressive. Jess is just cleaning up everything. As we mentioned before, I think it's just the rebounding is going to be like the sticky point. But a lot of that is effort. So I think if we're cleaning up the glass, we're the team to beat.
Completely agree. I mean, if I had, if I wanted to risk my WNBA credentials and just start wildly betting on things, I would probably be putting quite a bit of money on the Lynx because they are. It's until proven otherwise, they're the best team in the league. That's why they're the 1 seed. That's why they tied the league record in wins. Yes, in a couple more games. I know Aces fans will be saying that for the rest of time, but they are that good of a team. With that, though, I just wanted to thank all 3 of you for coming on the podcast here. Live streams are always fun. I appreciate you all for having the gusto to come on live and talk some hoops. And we're definitely going to be doing this again at some point in the playoffs or at least in the off season.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Thank you all. All right. And to everyone else, the 592 crazy people that have snuck in here at 10:15 Central after a Lynx clinching the Golden State series win. Let's call it that, because I think a lot of people are worried that it would have been Seattle. But after watching how they played against the Valkyries tonight, it's going to be really interesting to see how they try and make this work. That being said, I do have a couple Valkyries writers coming on over the next few days here. Pasquale is coming on tomorrow to talk kind of Valkyries preview, and then Kenzie is coming on after the game on Monday. He's flying in from San Francisco to cover the game, so we're going to do a live from this lovely back room in Target Center podcast after game 1 on Sunday. So to everyone that's popped in, appreciate all of you. This is why at Hitting the Hardwood, we're doing this podcast. Lynx fans deserve content. As Terry says, you all get to decide if it's good or not. But just by the reaction, I'm glad that people are enjoying it at least. So until tomorrow, when I'm going live with some of the Valkyrie writers at 8 p.m. Central, go Lynx.